Belle Gibson was an Australian blogger who wrote about being diagnosed with brain cancer. In August 2013, Belle Gibson launched The Whole Pantry, a book, an app and a website in which she claimed that healthy eating had cured her condition. Her book and app were promoted by Apple, and Belle Gibson is estimated to have made more than $1 million from sales in just 2 years. But doubts were raised when she failed to deliver a promised $300,000 to charity.
Belle Gibson really came out of nowhere in 2013. She created an Instagram account. She was operating under the moniker of Healing Belle, and she claimed to have cured her terminal brain cancer with a healthy diet and by living well and adopting various natural and alternative therapies. From that, the app just exploded. Overnight she had 10,000 followers. That became 200,000 followers within a few months.
You're one of the many thousands, the tens of thousands of people who listened to Belle Gibson, to watched her videos, to used her app. What was it about her that you felt was so authentic, so convincing?
I think she just came across so beautifully on social media. She just had this presence, had this way of writing that really drew you in. And that combined with the beautiful pictures of food that she posted, it was a very simple narrative. It was very easy to absorb and accept. It just sounded really convincing and really authentic. And I think that's kind of what draws people in. And being one of just many people within the wellness industry, once you follow one, you kind of follow all of them. And she was definitely a member of that kind of elite group of wellness bloggers who pretty much everyone followed at the time. But she was so authentic that you just couldn't help but like her at the time.
Did her illness or the suggested illness have anything to do with it? Did that make you feel more empathetic?
I think so, yeah, definitely. It was definitely something that made her more appealing to listen to because she had this amazing story, and that's what made her stand out over a lot of other people. She had this sort of compelling narrative that made people much more drawn to her than they would someone who was simply saying, just eat well and you'll live longer.
When you hear about how somebody uses potentially their condition to try and help other people, but it's not true, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it's incredibly frustrating because it's so easy to exploit the vulnerability of vulnerable people, such as people who have cancer. I mean, it's a terrible situation to be in. And so, of course, at that point, you're going to look for anything you possibly can to help yourself. And that's where these kind of bloggers who use basically the N=1 model, which is I am an anecdote and it applies to everyone, they use that and they spread that on social media, and that gives people false hope, which is probably the worst kind of thing I think someone on social media can do, is give someone false hope when there's no reason that they might necessarily get a cure. And research shows that people who deviate from conventional medicine for cancer are 2.5 times as likely to die within 5 years, which is really horrible. So these kinds of bloggers are literally causing people a great deal of harm. And as someone who is qualified, who has a proper master's degree in nutrition, it's incredibly frustrating.